Hello.
Hello.
Happy Naked Knowledge early
Afternoon.
evening.
Yeah,
It's afternoon over here for me for sure.
kind of afternoon here. I mean, 5 o'clock is like, it's not really evening yet, but it's not really afternoon. It's that weird time of day. Quitting time. Quitting time.
We're here an hour earlier because I got things to do later. Not like this isn't important or anything, but
It is. Well, your things that you have to do are.
we have sort of a little bit of lives outside of this, which is weird sometimes to think about.
It is, and it's not bad.
Oh, it's so cute.
Right.
Okay,
For sure.
Phone set up so I can see the chat.
Chat.
Mommy, I love to get
Thank you. So it doesn't. I guess it really doesn't matter what time of day it is. My kids are gonna be rootin' tootin'.
They're just always kiddos.
It's a big 10-4 on that one. So today we are going to be talking about Poshmark versus Mercari. Which one you like? I have an interesting story to tell about Mercari. It is definitely interesting, but I want to get people's insight and ideas about Poshmark and Mercari. And so how we normally start this out is we talk about our sales of the week, our top sales, or kind of sales. So did you want to?
Sure.
Did you want to go first?
Mommy?
Let me see what I have. I forgot to prepare a sale. Okay, this is fun. So my first one is going to be these pants. They are just pants. There's nothing, they don't look crazy, but they are Lululemon, and they're called ABC pants, which stands for anti-ball crushing. They're for dudes, obviously.
The hat for real?
It's legit what that, like, it even says that on like the tag. That is legit the name of them. But they're like the most comfortable pants for dudes, I guess. And they're like really popular. In fact, I told my boyfriend about them like a while ago because it's been on my BOLO list to find these pants. And I was like, I think you would love them because they're like work appropriate, but they're like super comfy. It's almost like those like dress pant, yoga pants that are popular with women. It's like the male version of that. And so I finally found some of these pants. They were not my boyfriend's size. Otherwise, I would have just gave them to him. But I listed them, and let's see, within 20 minutes, they sold for full price. And they're used. They weren't even new. So I was jazzed about that. Sale. That was on eBay.
Fantastic. Holy smokes, dude.
That was really cool. I had a really pop-in, what was that, like first of the month around like the beginning of the week. And then I've been slacking a little bit as far as listing as much. I did do some listing today though. So it was great. And then it slowed down a little bit, but let's see. I had, this photo is not great, but I'm happy to start moving through some of my vintage items. This is like a velvet. It's so hard to photograph because it was black. And on the back is like this cape with bow. It's very ornate. Pure velvet, like really long cardigan thing. And that's for $35 on Poshmark. And so I decided to start moving more of the vintage stuff I have. So those are my two sales.
Hey, Sabrina Jackson. Hello. Well,
Hi.
dang.
What about you?
Straight up killing it. This is one that I have had for a hot, wet minute, I guess, and I had someone who was interested. So this is a 19-inch coral necklace.
Wow.
And the balls are actually coral. They're not reconstituted. They're not, they're just legit coral. It's a heavy necklace. It's 4.2 ounces. Like, it's heavy. The only downfall to it is that the findings were silver tone and maybe not sterling. But as I pull it up here, you can see the natural pitting of the coral. So these are coral beads. And what was really beautiful is that the inside, like the beads had where you could see the natural inside of the coral as is, it was lighter and then graduating to a more deeper color. I had it listed for 40 and took a best offer of 30. And I was excited to see it move.
That's
now,
awesome.
I did a boo-boo and I didn't delete it off of my Etsy. And then overnight it sold for full price on my Etsy. So that was great.
That was
I mean, really dropping the ball on that one. Another one I want to say is a twofer. The top two. Both of these I paid less than $7 for, and they sold for $28 and $29.
7
So,
total, 7 each.
The first one my mom paid $3 for, and it's a little ceramic fox trinket box.
Cute.
It is so cute. The second one I paid $6 for, and it is a ceramic Egyptian pharaoh incense holder.
Little guy. Wow, those are great.
Both sold within the same day on Etsy.
Oh, for a second I thought that they were to the same person.
No,
That
that's
would
pretty cool though.
yeah.
When that happens.
Yeah. Good job, man. That's awesome. Those are some great sales. Yay. That's motivating to list some things.
And you know what? My eBay, not gonna lie, it's been popping a little bit. I think I kind of have that same first of the month
Yeah.
jazzeroni. But a lot of little sales, which sales add up. A lot of little ones. They definitely do. So it's important.
I
those offers.
what was it? Yeah, I did a sale on my like super stale inventory. It was like 65% off or whatever on the stuff that I was just like, please leave and goodbye. And so some of those things are selling, but they are like very, very small sales. So it's like February, I had the same like kind of number of sales, like transactions and things sold, but the amount was way less just because of the sale. So it's not a bad thing.
You got it, Michelle.
Not a bad thing. No.
If anyone has any questions about how to find Mr. Jim, hit me up and I will direct you to him.
Good stuff. Yeah. Yay.
Isn't that funny? You know, I didn't even look and think to look about that, if how much I'm making per month sale wise and how much per item. I guess I can just go look at the scorecard, but
yeah, that's what I do. I use that little the progress bar, like your goal bar on the page, like religiously, and I'm like watching it like a hawk near the end of the month. And I was nervous because February was a short month that I was like, it's gonna be so hard, and I didn't make it. I only got to like 80% or something like that, but I sold like the same number of things relatively as January, but they were just so much smaller dollar amounts. I think my average sale price was around $6, $7 because of that sale, just like getting rid of stuff. So.
in talking about sales, I I think since I have had an Etsy store, I do sales for my kids' birthday months and special months. So I just think it's nice and a little way to, like, bring in a little extra to do something extra for their birthday or something. So I'm running a sale on my Etsy right now, just on everything, like a 15% off. So I do get more traffic there. So it's a good idea to do something like that on a month that you can remember, or something similar, like you said, to move inventory or whatever. But
yeah, mine is like an ongoing, like anytime something reaches a limit where I don't want it anymore, I'll just drop it in that category and it'll automatically, I think I set the sale to go on for like the next year or something. But I found too, like, just while we're on the topic, I know it's really Mercari, but when I did my like little clearance sale, I also put a lot of my, or the rest of my entire eBay store on like 20% off or something like that, just to try and drive traffic. And I found that I still got a lot of lowball offers, even with things on. And when I turned off the sale finally, I made more sales by me sending out private offers to people than I made with the sale. And I've experienced that before.
interesting.
And so I had kind of given up on the eBay sale before. So I heard other people saying how awesome they were driving traffic and everything. And so now I'm anti-eBay sale again.
Interesting. I haven't even played with the idea of an eBay sale. I have tried categorizing it, which is an event all in itself.
Well, that took forever.
I'm still not even all the way there. Like I have to go through it again and check it out. But aside from talking about eBay until the cows come home, let's talk about Poshmark versus Mercari. So the last 2 weeks we spent discussing the differences, pros and cons between the two, Poshmark and Mercari. Both relatively fairly easy to list on, perfect starters. The only drawback is that you have to wait for the item to be delivered for you to receive your funds and process and transfer to your bank account. Whereas Etsy, eBay, those are the only other two places that I go. So, get your stuff. Thank you. They'll get your funds immediately. So if you had to choose between the two, which one happens to be your favorite?
I would choose. Man, there's like, I'm trying not to caveat it with anything, right? Like, you have to pick one, because I was like, whoa, if I did this differently, then maybe I'd pick this one. No. With the way my business is run right today, I would pick Poshmark.
Okay.
Because I don't get a ton of sales on. I make some, and that's what I was saying. Like, maybe if I switched to more hard goods, toys, things like, I sell clothing on Mercari, but it's just not as much. And another thing I've been noticing, knowing we were going to do this topic this week, was, I get a lot of likes on Mercari. And for the reasons I think we talked about, I guess, the Mercari episode was, when you send out lowering the price and everything. So I don't really ever do that often on Mercari. But I get, sometimes I think I get more likes on Mercari than I do on Poshmark. But I make more sales on Poshmark.
I can agree with that wholeheartedly. I feel like that's relatable. 100%.
Which one would you pick?
Poshmark. And that's a lot going off of what you said, how sales go, how my business is run right at this moment. Poshmark's been the first thing, platform that I've sold on. I really enjoy their customer service. Mercari, I had a bad experience this last week and it blew, and it wasn't even an issue through actual Mercari. It was the people selling on there. So as you guys know, I am a jewelry reseller to you 4 beautiful souls in the audience today. Thank you so much for being here. So as you know, I sell jewelry, and I am I was going to say single mom, but I work from home basically. My husband works during the day. The car is gone. We have one car. So I don't have the time to go out and verify an item with my jeweler every second I get a little suspicious about something. So I had this bracelet, right? This bracelet was marked, and this is the thing that kind of stumped me a little bit, was that there was a GC, and then I'll go ahead and pull up the bracelet to show you guys.
Yeah.
So
I love
you
this.
guys have a little bit of an idea. And let me look for it.
And GC would mean gold coated or plated, right?
Right, that's correct. So let me go ahead and show here the little signature. And this is definitely a learning point for everybody. So GC 10K. The bracelet definitely was vintage, in my humble opinion. It has the sunburst pattern that was uneven. It looked like it was hand done. And so I'm not very good at testing gold. I have a testing kit to test gold. I just don't have the experience. So
yeah,
I was like, I did all the research I could, and a lot of the research said that if it says GC, it means gold coated, gold clad. Basically, it is just coated. It is not solid gold. So I had listed it on all platforms. And as soon as I hit list on Mercari, it sold immediately. Like, cha-ching. It was beautiful. And I was like, yay, I'm so excited. I'm just going to get done with inventory. I'm moving it.
And what did you price it at?
I listed it for $25. With what it was comped at for it being a GC 10 karat, what I thought was gold coated, that was, medium to low. It was right in the middle of usually where I list things. So I didn't have a problem. I was like, yes, someone really was looking for this. Someone's always looking for something. So then I started to get an influx of messages. And these messages came from different listings that I had. Because for those of you who don't know, you can't just message a person outright on Mercari. You have to go through an actual listing to message the person. So on several different listings that I had, these people were messaging me, begging me, basically, do you have any more gold? I need more gold. Did you know that you listed this wrong? Are you dumb? Do you know what you have? Like, just completely crazy. I couldn't believe the amount of time people went out, and multiple people. I counted a total of 12 people who commented within the first 30 minutes of me listing an item, basically telling me how much of a dumb butt I was for listing this item so low. And I was like, okay, but I tested it and it's inconclusive to me. I'm sorry. I don't know. None of it was like, hey, can I help you? It was, you're dumb.
Bully. Yeah.
So at that point, I don't know if it was my feminine rage or the fact that I just couldn't handle another message. I decided to, love you too. I decided to stop what I was doing and take it to my local pawn shop. And I asked them bold blank, hey, teach me how to test for gold at this point, because I do not want to ever end up in a situation where I feel like this again.
Yeah.
So I had to go in and block a whole bunch of people on Mercari. They were asking, do you have any more gold? Do you have any more gold? And I said, yes, I have more gold. It's listed under my Mercari. Look for gold. I have it on here, dude. But they wanted it for $25. I'm like, that's not going to happen. So I did something that I normally don't ever do, which is I canceled the sale. I told the person a white lie, which, 100%, I normally don't do this. And I don't, because I'm like, if it's my error, it's my error. But the amount of just flack I got was gross. So I canceled it and I said, hey, look, it broke. I'm sorry. Upon trying to ship it and place it in the bag, it broke. And she's like, I don't care if it's broke, send it to me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to just send you a broken necklace. She's like, it's unethical what you're doing. I'm like, it's unethical for me. You guys are, whatever. So then I canceled the order. Then more messages came in and they were ruder. They were like, oh, so you figured out that it was gold, huh? That's why you canceled the order. So people could tell that the item was canceled. So
This just blows my mind.
I guess, and it's never happened to me before. I've had people, very kind people, go out of their way to be like, hey, look, you misspelled something in the title. Or, hey, look, maybe revisit your title. It's not accurate. And that's okay. I'll take those messages from any platform if you're kind, because kindness takes no time at all. And a lot can get lost in translation through text. And I completely understand that. But that was next level.
It's surprising too. Like, do they have some sort of notification set up for like the words gold plated, whatever, for listings?
They would have to.
They jumped on you so fast, and like I've never had that much of a social interaction on Mercari before. Like I rarely talk to people. A question about the item, like
yeah.
Surprising. Where do these people
come? It was unreal. People were coming out of the woodwork about just this solid thing. I couldn't believe it. And then I was starting to wonder, did I get blacklisted off of Mercari now? Like, I genuinely sell from jewelry. Like, I sell jewelry. Is this going to be difficult for me now to sell jewelry now that this happened? Like, it's unreal.
So what about the also, yeah, be real, you can report those messages and stuff, which is probably a good
I most definitely did report the messages that were just completely nasty.
Yeah.
And then I blocked a lot of people.
What they knew about the bracelet, because it said GC. Why would anyone just viewing the pictures know that it is solid?
So upon that, I did further research. So as I still have this up here, this GC before the 10K indicates that was the maker's mark. Anything after the K on carat would refer to if it was plated, filled, clad, whatever. So,
oh my God, why does that person's initials have to be that?
Right?
You never thought that if it was, DS, right, like your initials or something.
Right. And so, like, I asked the pawn people too. I didn't get their names. That's why I'm just calling them pawn people. I asked the people from my local pawn shop, is there a way you can feel gold? If you're holding gold, you're touching gold. I think so much of it, when you're doing jewelry, or even I think you can maybe with clothes too, you can feel the certain way a fabric is made, and you're like, okay, I can tell this is a high-end product as opposed to not. But they're like, no, it just takes time. And I even asked them, because they scratched so lightly on their board and they dropped the ass, and they're like, yeah, it's 10K. And I'm like, okay, but at home I hulk out and I scratch on my board. I'm like, how do you know this isn't gold coated? And they're like, we don't. What you would need to do is you would need to take a file, and you need to file into the bracelet, and then you would need to acid test the filings. So I'm like, dang.
But they called it solid, and they only lightly scratched it.
So, because
that clued them in as well. That since the marks were before the 10K, it was a maker's mark, not communication.
Very correct. And that leads me to, I have another thing listed too, and it is a gold necklace. And this is a really good example. This should have been another thing for me, is this right here. JCM 10K. So that's another great example that right there,
Right. That's
is a maker's mark for the stamp.
exactly.
So never have I ever, and probably will ever, do something like that or get something like that again from Mercari. That was probably like a one in a lifetime situation. What about putting in the description mark? And when we, oh yeah, definitely absolutely spelled it out. GC means this. I, tested this, but it was inconclusive. Like I spelt it out. If I'm going to put something up like that, I'm going to make sure that if someone's going to read the description or see the pictures, that they know exactly what they're getting. But very good point. Be real.
Wow. What an ordeal, though, and would leave a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth about Mercari in general, just because of nothing against really the platform, but the clientele, I guess, like the users are not friendly, nice people. Like,
I think, and I don't know if you have experience with this, maybe people who tend to just sell Gucci or I don't know, higher end. That's all I know for high end clothes. Gucci. But have you noticed that maybe people are a little bit more short when you go into the high end? Do they have less concern or less care for peasantry people who just buy anything or everything? Or have you had a similar situation happen?
I do see that there are people that only sell, luxury, and that's totally cool. Like if you have access to that inventory and, you want to sell it, go for it. I personally don't. I mean, if I find something, I'll try and get it authenticated and sell it if I can, but it's not, I'm not finding those items. But I have noticed, like in other social media platforms and stuff, I don't really vibe with the people who sell only that kind of stuff because I do feel less than. Like they're either reading their content or interacting with them on a live or something. I'm just like, I feel inferior now, and that's not a good vibe in the community. So I wouldn't say that they're mean necessarily. They didn't like come cyberbully me like they did you, because it wasn't a situation like that. But it's just people that I wouldn't necessarily want to like hang out with. And look, I can't say that vibe with them. I'm not saying all people who sell luxury are snobby. No. I have just found I can't even think of like certain names, but just instances before, just like, oh, my Old Navy isn't good enough. And that's a reflection on.
And I think that's the thing is that I think with Poshmark and Mercari, there's no voice behind your listings. You put your listings out, you brand yourself. I hate that.
Yeah.
You brand yourself in the sense of what you sell, what kind of stuff, you're willing to put out there. And, I think so much on social media, like YouTube, you do have a face behind what you have. And so if you're not personable and you're a total butt, and you have an air about yourself, you either are admirable and people want to follow you in that sense, or you're just completely unapproachable and people are just there for knowledge. I don't know.
Unapproachable is that is how I found these situations.
Very well could be competitors that uses other accounts to discredit others. Yeah, very true.
Do that.
100%. I think people are cautious when it comes to high-end tail because yes, absolutely, Carolyn.
And that's why I send a lot of my things into, what's it called? The Real is the online consignment store for kind of luxury goods. And like, for example, I had a Chloe blouse, high-end designer Chloe. And I had it on eBay, listed, got a lot of interest, no offers or anything, but a couple like watchers. And someone reached out saying, is this authentic? And I said, yes, it is. And I did my research before listing. I was very confident. And she's like, well, can I see the receipt? I was like, I don't have the receipt. Like, this is like unreal. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to sell something like this on eBay but you'll buy the same house off a different website because it's coming from like a more reputable, it's not just me, company who authenticates their items or whatever. So
Right.
I sent it in there and it sold. Now I'm not going to make as much money, but I won't have to deal with
That.
and stuff like that. So yeah,
And I think
weird.
I can relate to that in a sense where totally off topic, but talking about Etsy. You know, I think eBay is great for Poshmark, Mercari, for name brand things. If you want to buy an American Eagle beaded necklace, if you want to buy, you know, something that's the you know, the run of the mill, so you can get affordable from the store. But I post things on my Etsy, and people will, you know, this is secondhand. This is either handcrafted. This is authentic vintage. People know when you're going into the Etsy realm
Right.
that's you're looking for. These other people, you know, maybe on the other platforms are looking for something that's more trendy, looking for something that's for longevity or the purposes of an outfit, or, you know, I really don't know. I can't say. But it's just, anyways, it's very interesting. I had another guy who I admired so much because anyone who can give me information or can tell me knowledge, I admire them because I just think it's great. And he's a YouTuber. And he did in a lot of gold. He worked with gold a lot, and he would talk about, you know, finding gold at estate sales, finding gold where you least expect it. And then I saw him on a live, and I commented how excited I was to actually get in the live, and he just completely disregarded me. And so I don't know if it's a lot of I don't know if how I said something may have affected him, or, you know, what was going on in his life at that moment. But I find that a lot of people maybe don't have a care for people who are doing what they're. Do you understand what I mean by that?
I know exactly what you mean. Or like people I've looked up to. I almost find it like, to use an analogy of like the Lance Armstrong effect of things, where it's like I've really looked up to Lance Armstrong, like I've read his book like 400 bajillion times, and then to find out he was lying and cheated the whole time is just really, you know, really upsetting for someone who like really admired the person and it was all fake. You know, I've had experiences with like YouTube, you know, where I'm like, oh, I really admire you, and then it's like you talk to them and you're like, not what I expect, like not the same person you see on their videos, and it just like kind of bums me out, where I'm like, oh, I thought like
you can't expect the person that you're being, or like even a teacher, for example, to be the same person that they're on, you know, not on the clock or something. But still, it just, I think what I'm just trying to give out of what I've taken from all this is just to be kind, because you never know how much it's going to. This has happened a couple of days ago, and it's still affecting me.
I think you're right. It does just come down to kindness, because that's something that upsets me the most, is just when people aren't kind, and like, and it hurts more when you look up to that person for whatever reason, whether it's a fellow reseller, YouTuber, or whatever, and then when they just, for whatever reason, are not kind back, it just kind of, I get butthurt about it sometimes, and I'm like, sensitive.
You're trying so hard, and they come and take a hot, wet swirly on what you're doing, and you're like, just saying, is this worth it? Real had a comment earlier. Hi, ladies. Aside from Facebook Market, I have not yet decided where to open a store. I just have to pick one and go for it. I did join various groups that sell jewelry on Facebook. Real.
Good.
Why do you have to choose one?
Right.
Jump into all of them. Who cares? There's no rules.
And you don't need to have. I felt this strongly with some previous endeavors I had a couple years ago. I was very into photography, and I wanted to sell my photography. And you know, I was like, all right, I can create an Etsy store, and then I'm gonna have to find a printer, like a print service, and all these things. And I was like, I'm gonna create a little business out of this. And I had put so much effort into the planning of what I needed to do, how many photos I need to have, you know, my inventory before I can go live, like all of this stuff. I never ended up doing it, obviously. But I was so concerned with the preparation that I never just took the leap to do it. And so I would say, you know, you don't need to plan so much when you want to sell something online. I thought you needed to have all of this prep, but I could have listed just one photo on Etsy and slowly added more. That's exactly what we both did with Poshmark, right? We both started Posh. We listed 1, 2, 3 things, and it's grown to like 500 for each of us, And so I never would have become a reseller if I told myself, you have to list 100 things before you can become a live store or whatever. So I would just encourage you to go for it. And even if you only have one item up for a week, choose the platform that you like to list on the best and list your item.
Exactly right. There is people out there. I was just going through eBay a hot what second ago and checking, comps and everything. And there's a person who had stuff on there, like a seller who had a store, and they only had about 100 items on there, but they had really good items. Now, if you look at me versus me, I have 500 various items. Some are more better than others. Some are just filler items. So it's like, how do you want to be? And then go from there. There's no rules.
There are people on eBay who probably have like one thing they found, or it's a family heirloom. They put it on auction once, and that's the only thing they've ever sold on eBay. Right. Yeah. And they were like, oh, and it went for thousands of dollars, whatever. Right. Like you get those crazy things too that like are one-off situations.
High-end auction houses online authenticize the goods before they auction them off, and you send the item and they take a percentage and then wire the money to you, but you must do your research. Exactly right. That's kind of like how your Real does. I assume
they authenticate everything before they list it for sale. So that Chloe blouse got accepted, so I knew it was authentic. But yeah.
Hey, Christine.
Hi.
Hello.
But back to like your question at the very beginning where we started of which one would you prefer, Posh or Mercari? And I had forced myself to choose based off right this moment in time. But 2021 Kelly reselling wants to get a little bit more diverse. And so I really want to make more of a staple. It's lacking, but I think some of my items other than clothing could potentially do there. So I do want to try and build up my Mercari.
Yes, I do. And I can say right now that on my Mercari, I think I have about 200 less listings than I do on all of my other platforms because I just kind of thought I didn't want it to just be one more platform where I'm going to have to go and delete something out of. But I'll tell you what, the last week or so, when I've listed something and including that necklace or bracelet, excuse me, they've sold immediately, full price, and I don't offer free listings on a lot of things or free shipping on a lot of things on my Mercari because why?
You'll get good sales. Well, I wonder maybe if I should switch that because I offer free shipping. Yeah, I don't
have enough items to be opening more than one store. Well, source the same or use the same stuff.
Same stuff on different platforms. Yeah, cross list them.
That's what we do. Cross post. Just make sure.
4 sites, but it's all the same items.
Yeah. So yes, I list on Mercari, Poshmark, eBay, Etsy, but they're all the same item. They're just
different places.
Same pictures, same descriptions.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yep.
I'm going to go grab my son because he just woke up from his nap. I don't know if I'm going to entertain the troops for a moment.
Yes. I thought I had maybe a story or something about Mercari, but I was debating on the free shipping on Mercari because I offer free shipping on almost everything on Mercari unless it's like a heavy pair of boots or something. And I wonder if maybe I just start charging shipping. You would think that it wouldn't be as good, but I've heard people do very well even with charging shipping, and could be too that I'm just pricing incorrectly because I try and price the same as I price on eBay and maybe add $2 to kind of cover some of the shipping. Definitely not all of it, but then hopefully don't get as low of offers. But I don't know. I'm playing around with Mercari, if you know what I mean. Okay, Christine says she doesn't offer free shipping. So maybe I won't either and just start changing it up. I don't know. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks. All right. Be real. I just opened. There you go. And let's just say, I know that there isn't this totally completely off topic, but I love not being on topic when there's questions in the audience. But there's a opportunity to go away or have like a vacation on any of the platforms. So let's just say one is a little bit too, 3 or 4 is a little bit more overwhelming than just maybe 2. You could put the other ones on vacation. Go from there.
Yeah.
So
I will say just a tip for eBay vacation mode is if you have a store, you can put on vacation mode. But I found that unlike Poshmark, if you would go on vacation mode, it marks all of your things not for sale. Doesn't do that on eBay. And there's a banner at the top that says like the seller is away. It may take longer to get your item or something. So what I also do is I put mode on so that banner comes up at the top. But then I go in and I also change my handling time.
okay, that's a good one.
So I went once and it was like I was gone for about a week, I think. And so I made my handling time based off the drop downs. It was like 5 business days or something like that. So that by the time I got home and everything, I would be like, I could ship the next day for anything that had sold the first day I was gone or something, however it worked. But yeah, just a tip on that.
I believe starting small and working bigger is just the best start. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, no truer words can be spoken on that one. That is 100% accurate. I don't think anyone wakes up and decides to just open up 4 stores, but it definitely comes from time.
Your mistakes doing that too, right? You learn as you grow.
Absolutely.
And you don't want some of your starting out mistakes to be on, thousands of dollars worth of inventory if you're not whatever, you're just.
And I'm still making mistakes. Still, like even mentioned earlier, the 2 sales that I had, I accidentally forgot to erase them off of Etsy, and those 2 things out of all of my things sold. So
that's funny.
Even though I put, on Thrifter's scorecard and it's the big letters like, don't forget to erase it, ding dong. It still is just.
I know, sometimes I don't even read that anymore. It's just so like I expect the words are there, so I don't even like read it, which is besides the point. But
okay, if I cross-list items and an item sold, I have to manually mark sold on other stores. Yes.
Yeah. Or delete it. You don't necessarily need to mark it as sold.
You can deactivate them on Mercari, which I have found that you can do, or you can also just delete them plain in general. You can deactivate them on Etsy, which I know because I've done that a few times. Yeah. Another thing too is if it does give you the option to deactivate, I encourage you to do that before you flat out erase it, because there is some time where someone does offer you something and it falls through. They don't pay or whatever the case may be. And that way, quick and simple, bring it back up.
The other day I got an eBay sale. And I just saw the notification on my phone, and I just saw the brand, and it said it was like blah 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 striped, blah blah blah. And I had 2 of the same brand. They were both striped. One was a dress, one was a shirt, and I thought it was the shirt just by looking. And I went in and deleted it on Poshmark right away. And then I was like, you know what? What if it was the dress? And then I look at the notification. I was like, son of a biscuit. So then I had to like cross list it back over to Poshmark because I had deleted the wrong one and go find the dress. So
But there's a positive thing about it is that you have that if as long as it's on one platform, you have the ability to cross post it via, a list perfectly. So
Yes.
I just do Poshmark, and that is okay.
You don't have to do
There's
multiple.
no, there's people that are making a killing doing it just off of Poshmark. And that's how Kelly and I both started. I mean, that's something we both can kind of relate to, is in a sense that that was our starting platform. And it is
One. I mean, I like it. It's changing a lot. So
yes. This has happened to me overnight on a pair of earrings. They were both overnight and they sold. You have to choose which one. I kind of go off of which one sold first. For me personally. And then I go back, and as long as you're very quick about it and you're like, hey, look, I'm sorry, there was an error. Here's a full refund. 9 times out of 10, people are like, oh, that's okay. I'm bummed, but that's okay. Like, rather know about it now than have to wait to find out that,
Yeah.
Hey, ladies, it's Bolo Buddies. Hey, Bolo Buddies. Reselling testing products.
RTP.
Cool. Hello. Hey, Elizabeth K. Hello.
That's so funny because in my map job, I was working on something that was called RTPs, and it has nothing to do with reselling. It has to do with trains. It's funny.
Well, I ordered some jewelry from a wholesale jeweler and bought 3 of each on some item. Well, congratulations.
That's pretty great. Yeah.
I have dabbled a smidge in looking, but not purchasing some wholesale items, especially when it comes to jewelry. Just makes me nervous. So that's great that you branched out and did something like that. That's spectacular.
I've had with wholesale before. It's not something I do often. In fact, I've purchased from the wholesale market on there, and there's jewelry, and a lot of it is like kind of Etsy handcrafted stuff. It's not like overseas or whatever. I think that you probably can get stuff overseas from people who then buy it from the wholesale again. But I did buy a necklace bundle from someone. They have beautiful, beautiful stuff. The prices are higher than what you would get if you bought overseas, like much higher. But some of the pros of it I'd say most wholesale listings, not all on Poshmark, will allow you to use their photos. And they take like Instagram worthy photos, which is just really nice. And so you can, they allow you, they say that in the listing. But
they're registered with the Better Business Bureau. That's perfect. I think, as I had recently picked up a wholesale license, California wholesale license. And of course, first thing I went and looked into was crystals. Psycho. But I decided kind of to put that on the back seat for a second. But there was a question up here I wanted to get to that. Okay, how do you like YouTube auctions? Do you make money more or less?
Good question.
Really great question. Fantastic questions. I think a lot of people can probably answer the same way. If you're looking for fast, quick money on an item, if you're willing to mark it down maybe 50% or so, but you're looking for fast money, YouTube sales are an excellent way to make money fast. However, if you're looking to take an item that is worth $60 plus and list it, or even $40 or anything, list it. It just may take more time on a platform. But on YouTube, you do have to deal with the one-on-one customer that way. Invoicing through PayPal There's some person who has a great reputation, but then just decides that you're not the one and will not pay you. So you have to deal with that. Whereas if you're on a platform like eBay, you know, it has that opportunity where you can file a no pay claim.
Yeah.
And eBay takes over, excuse me, they both start with an E. Or if it comes to that point, you could just cancel it and put it out there again. So there's definitely pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
So if you do a little bit of dabbling, get your feet wet, put your toes in the water on each of them, I'd say it's a win-win.
Right. And when I started out with jewelry in particular, I was only selling it on auctions. I wasn't even listing it. And so for me, it was okay because I had that separate inventory that was only on auction. So even if I was aware I wasn't getting as much for it if I listed it on eBay or whatever, but it was okay because I bought it with the intent to sell it on an auction. So my cost of goods reflected that. I'm not gonna buy something that's really expensive and sell it on an auction where I know I may not get as much. So if I can get it really, 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 really cheap, high quality products for a good price, then I'm okay with. I'm still making money, even on an auction.
It's a perfect place where, if, like, let's say, like Christine said, I bought a 16-pound lot off of Etsy. Let's say you bought that lot for $40 and you found one thing in that lot, you made your money back. Everything else in that box is cheese. You can choose to sell it for cheap and fast. If you just want to get rid of it in a bundle, you can, you know, whatever the case, make it fancy, do what you want to do. But essentially, we're all trying to make our money back and then some, so that we can buy the next bundle and then pay ourselves for the time it's spent.
Right. Yeah. So now I've started listing more jewelry and I need to do it more. I don't list enough of what I have. I kind of liked keeping it like these things I don't have to worry about. You know, these are just like kind of like you said, this is my quick money pile. If I need to hop on, I can sell these, and I'm really fine with whatever they're going for, right? As long as I make $1 or something, I'm happy.
Oh, Christine, I know. I can only imagine. I've spent, I just got a 28-pound box and I wish I'd spent $40 on it, but I did not. So I understand how much. Just giving an overall example. Precious. Absolutely. Precious. Yeah, let us know about YouTube auctions if anyone's having them. I definitely like to encourage and support. I mean, we all started somewhere, and I think it's amazing seeing people. If you've got a positive attitude and you're kind, unfortunately, it doesn't take you far a lot of times, but I think it should. And at least I'm here to support you on that one. So
it takes you far with the people that it matters with, right? Like you don't want to be sucked into the crowd that don't value kindness and things. So,
and you know, right off the bat, what kind of, you know, going into an auction, the clicky and stuff like that. And I think that's a whole nother thing to talk about. Spending, sourcing through a YouTube auction. Are you spending the money because you're wanting to get that thing, or are you spending that money because you want to show your dominance in the community, or are you wanting to get that thing because that person's selling it?
There's so much that goes into it, and I don't like that necessarily because I just don't think that way businessly. And I've noticed that the more I've watched stuff, it's like, oh, there are things, you know, I've watched tons of different YouTube channels and things. And I'm like, it's interesting to see the dynamics of an auction, and just something that really surprised me. I don't know.
Well, what was an interesting thing, and I might have told you about it that one and brought it up during a different Naked Knowledge night, was there's a YouTuber, Crazy Lamp Lady. A lot of her sourcing items, you know, she puts on eBay to sell. And Bola Buddies had either someone had posted it or she had posted it that there was an item and it was a piece of jewelry that was going for sky high, like what am I missing in this? Why is this going for so much? And the argument was, is it because she is a YouTuber, she's an influencer, and people want to get their hands on it because of who she is, or if it's because of the product? So
right. That's interesting. Yeah, I remember you told me that.
That's my cool case.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm more. I want to pay for the product. That's usually how I am. Like at a thrift store, right? Like I just want to pay for.
Yeah, that's a lot of it.
I can get it.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I don't want to play that game.
We're all doing the resale thing, so I don't think it should be any offense taken to anyone when I want. Not that I'm gonna like. I want it to be the cheapest it can be, so we all want to make the gravy. So
I'm not opposed to going on someone else's channel and selling. You don't have to have content to have auctions. That's exactly right. You don't. StreamYard is free. It's 100% accurate. It definitely is free. But to wrap it up, we really
an audience, but
yes, you'd want to have an audience, of course, or you're basically just talking to nobody. And if that gets you going, then more power to you. Yeah, do you, boo-boo. But I know we really didn't touch on the topic of too much Poshmark versus Mercari. Just a smidge, just a sneeze. But, wrapping that up and talking about it, I think it really just depends on you, and that's okay. And whatever you choose, whatever's best for you, whatever gets you going, what excites you the most, what does better for you, does better for you, and you're selling, is the best, basically.
So true. You got to do things that work out for your business the best.
Big old 10-4 on that. But I think this coming weekend, I guess I'm for those 9 souls who are still here with us. I got asked by the Bolo Buddies herself to join the a $15 thrift challenge. And so I'll be putting out a video tomorrow to me and 11 other YouTubers who were tasked with the challenge of going to a thrift store and finding items or an item that is less to or $15. And you, the audience, the viewers, will get to watch that video that I post along with the other people's videos, and you'll get to vote who you liked the most as far as their haul went. So I'm excited. That'll be going live tomorrow. I don't have an auction scheduled tomorrow for my mom and I did one last week, so it'll be next week that I'll have an auction, but I'm sure you'll see us around. I might do a pop-up or something. Woo. For this week's challenge, just want to keep on keeping on. Baby shark.
Yes.
I don't know how my kids end up finding the volume button and raising it so high when I'm on live. It's a gift that they have.
Yeah, I think keep on keeping on is good. And just, keep chugging. I feel like I got a lot of things in the works this week. So
don't you have to have 1,000 followers to go live? That's a big no, you don't. If you notice, there's a lot of people on that don't have 500 people followers. It doesn't matter.
Yep. You can go live with no followers.
That's right. It's YouTube. You do have to switch the notification on to your YouTube to make sure that you can go live. Not the notification, but the setting.
Yeah, right.
But besides that, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Next week, I think we might either brush up on another platform. But of course, we want to hear from you. If there's something in particular that you're interested in talking about, if there's a platform you want to touch on, we love, when we have a topic, but it tends to move with the audience. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you liked this time frame better than our starting this time normally. Let us know. But we will be back without a shadow of a doubt next Thursday.
That's right.
Chicka chicka. Bow, bow. Anyways, okay. All right, guys. We will catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys.